Episode 1069, and we are here live in Southwest Florida in my garden studio. If you are joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you have questions for me. Let me know if you're crafting today. Okay, let's see. I'll wait a few seconds for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. I do want to mention my outfit really quickly because I think I came up with a great hack this morning. And then we're gonna work on our motif top like I promised. Hi Judy and Joe, good morning. Hi Naomi, hi Marcia, good morning. Happy Thursday everybody, aka Friday Eve. Hope everybody's having a great day so far. Gosh, I love this view behind the fence here. Hi Janet and Rita, but I'm pretty sure that this wild area back here is what's causing me so many allergies lately. Hi Donna and Judy, Naomi, good morning. Hi Nora, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well so far. Oh, and I have a PSA announcement to make. If you are using makeup that's super old, this is a gentle reminder to you, throw it out and replace it. I've been fighting with eyeliner the last couple months, I guess. I've been trying to avoid wearing makeup, and anytime I feel like I have to put makeup on, I put it on, and then I have a horrible allergic reaction, and then it takes me a week or two to heal to wear makeup again. And I realize that sometimes we get so caught up in the chaos of our lives that we don't take a step back and realize when we're doing something really not smart. And so this morning, after having a horrible reaction to eye makeup yesterday, and I'll tell you why I wore eye makeup in a minute, I threw it out this morning. And once my eyes heal this time, I'm not going to be buying it. I'm going to buy brand new eyeliner and brand new mascara. So that's my little reminder announcement. Anybody that's using old makeup, I know you're not supposed to, and I was being cheap, frugal, whatever you want to call it. And I said, that's it, throw it out. Hello, Chrissy. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Sandshell. Okay, then I promised that I'd tell you something about my outfit. So this top, this dress underneath, does not have off the shoulder. It's a regular tank top dress. This is one of those slimmer fitting tank top dresses that I bought in a bunch of colors a couple years ago. And you know, this vest is new. Let's see, how am I gonna even let me bend that down just a little bit so you can see the whole outfit. And then this vest is new. It's one of those drapey vests. But you know, I have that rule where I don't like to wear sleeveless on sleeveless. And something kept gnawing at me this morning. It's okay, you're gonna find a way to make them work. It's gonna be okay, you don't have to break your rule. And then I realized that as long as I'm wearing this layer over this layer, I can slip the sleeves off my shoulders and it looks like the dress is an off the shoulder dress. And do you see how much more definition that gives you with the layers? I think sleeveless on sleeveless is so boring and just nondescript. And so if this dress had sleeves, perfect. If I added crochet or knit sleeves, this perfect. Even if I added a bandana sleeve, whatever sleeve, perfect. But as long as you don't have sleeves, if you are wearing sleeveless over sleeveless, I think this is a perfect hack. And it actually looks like it was meant to be like that. I'm loving it. Anyway, that's my little tip for today. So I wanted to, as I promised, we were gonna sew the motifs to this t-shirt today. If you didn't get a chance to watch the tutorial video on how to make the motifs, go on over back out onto my YouTube channel. It's the most recent video that I've released. You can find it there. I also have it linked in the video description already here. What I've done is put my t-shirt on a dress form, added my crochet motif yoke over the top of it, centered everything. I lined up the center shoulder seam with the seam on the shoulder of the dress form. I pinned everything in place. I grabbed some just grabbed some sewing thread in a color that I thought wouldn't be, it doesn't match, but it's not going to be high contrast either, so it's fine. And I added it here, tied it with a knot, and I started sewing along here. So I'm sewing about an inch above the bottom edge of the motif. What I'm planning on doing is I want an overlap. So I'm going to have these motifs overlap the fabric, sewing about, I don't know, an inch above, I guess, and then sewing an inch above all the way around. Then I'm going to turn the whole thing inside out, cut the excess t-shirt from the top, from the sew line to the top. I'm going to cut all that out, and then I'll go back in, turn it right side out again, and sew a second extra supportive sewing line closer to the edge here. So there'll end up being 2 rows of stitching, and there'll be no fabric of the t-shirt underneath. So everywhere you see the fabric of the t-shirt here, that's going to be gone. Okay? So sewing is a slow process, which is why I started it a little bit before we went live this morning, just so we didn't run out of time and not get a little further along. And what I'm doing is keeping my stitches small on the top side and making them about a 1/4 inch long, 1/4 to 3/8 inch long on the inside, and making them more visible on the inside will make it super easy to see the stitches when I turn the t-shirt inside out, so I know where to cut. And honestly, we don't need to cut the t-shirt. If you do not feel comfortable cutting your t-shirt, you don't have to. Can you even see what I'm doing? No. Let's see if we can move the camera. Is that better? It's kind of hard to sew. Maybe if I turn the camera around so that you can see what I see, maybe this will be better. Yeah, okay. We'll try this. You know, I do like the challenge of live. I don't know why, but I do. Can you see that better? Okay, I want to make sure that this stays centered. There we go. Can you see this better now? Is that a good view? Okay, I see one yes. Great, thanks, Judy. And I'll just move the camera with me. Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing to craft. It's another thing to videotape crafting. You gotta watch. There's a lot more to think about. Oh, I told you guys I was gonna mention why I was wearing full makeup yesterday too. I finished all of the videos for my first knitting course. I'm definitely full-blown in the editing mode now. I'm editing the handout. There's going to be a PDF handout that goes with the course. The course is going to have, I think it has 9 lessons, and it's about an hour and a half long. It's so awesome. In it, you're going to learn 3 different types of casting on. What else? You're going to learn knit and purl, obviously, and slip stitch. And you're going to learn 4 different stitch patterns that you can use any way you like. And then there's a pattern in there for making a scarf. And what else? Then we make the scarf, and then at the end of the scarf pattern, I tell you based on the gauge that we're using for the scarf. I also tell you how many stitches to cast on and how many rows to knit if you would like to make a baby blanket, a rectangular wrap, or a larger Afghan throw from the same scarf pattern. So you're going to get 4 patterns. 4 actual project patterns. You're also going to learn 4 stitch patterns, 3 types of casting on, 4 variations of simple binding off, And then at the very end, there's some troubleshooting as well to show you how to fix some mistakes. How does that sound? I think that's the whole course. I think I just remembered all of it. And I can't really see comments, so if you think that sounds great, I'm happy. But I can't read to see if you do or not. Okay, I sewed that one up a little high, but that's okay. Wherever we've sewn it, it doesn't matter how high up you sew this first line of sewing, because if you're going to cut the t-shirt, you only need to cut it where it's shown here. So where you decide to cut is perfectly adjustable. It's adjustable based on where your sewing lines are and where you want to cut. If you don't want to cut it, you don't have to cut it either. This can just be an add-on. It doesn't have to be an add-on and it doesn't have to be an addition and a subtraction. It can just be an addition. Oh, and I have something else funny to tell you about the knitting course too. So I did all of the tutorial videos first. And then yesterday I put on my makeup to sit at the dinette and do all of the videos where I'm talking to the camera. And it's funny because I did that for several hours yesterday. And it wasn't until I started editing that I realized somewhere, I don't know, I guess about halfway through, Bjorn decided to come sit on the table in front of the camera, and he's just sleeping the rest of the time. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of that yoga lady that I absolutely love, Yoga with Adrienne, and her dog Benji always sleeps with her while she's doing yoga. So I left it, and then when I was editing the very final thoughts, conclusion portion of the video, Bjorn literally wakes up and does something really silly at the very end. It's just hilarious. Oh, I think someone had a question about how the knitting courses are going to be available. They're all going to be a la carte. Like I said, I'm making the Introduction to Knitting a 5-part series, but each one will be $19.99, and you absolutely can choose which ones you want to purchase. You don't have to do all of them. I designed the course to build upon skills, so I think it would be in a beginner knitter's best interest to take them in order, because like part 2 builds upon the skills that you learn in part 1. Part 3 builds upon the skills that you learned in part 1 and 2. Part 4 builds upon the skills that you learn in part 1, 2, and 3. You see what I'm saying here? So they do go in order in that respect. So I think it would be in someone's best interest to take them all in order. But I realize that everybody likes to do things in their own way. So great question. And yes, it is a la carte and by choice, so you can pick and choose. I will be working on some crochet courses after I finish those. Let's see. I ran out of yarn for that particular part, and I somehow got my tail and my stitching thread combined here. Let's see if I can separate them. Might as well work on some troubleshooting. Is one of them going to come? Nope. Okay, then we'll just tie that off and start another one. And I'm not going to weave in my tails at the moment. I'll do that at the end. All right, but I am going to get another piece of yarn, or another piece of thread. I'm off camera, just grabbing another piece of thread. Since I ran out of thread, what was it, 5 inches from completion? But if my tail hadn't gotten stuck in the motifs in the t-shirt and become a double threaded stitch, I would have had enough, so whatever, it's fine. And don't worry about these loose threads, we'll weave those in later. I just want to pick up where we left off. Okay. And we can continue now. Who's excited to cut the t-shirt with me? Anybody excited about that part? I know I am. Interesting that we're not really going to have to cut much or anything at all here in the front. But you know, a t-shirt really isn't symmetrical from front to back. The back of the t-shirt neckband is higher than the front. So I wasn't super surprised that this was going to be the case. And I'm going to sew down here. Oops. What's going to be cute though is the fact that you can see through the motifs once we cut the t-shirt. Can you still see okay? Hopefully. I could take a little tea break too and have a sip of tea and see if there's any questions that I've missed. Notice how the stitches on the front I'm making super tiny so you can't see them, but the stitches from the back I'm not worried so much because we want to be able to see them on the back, so we make sure that we don't cut the t-shirt below that sewing line. You'll see what I mean when I flip this inside out in a minute. Okay, whoopsie. Let's tie those together. Okay, and I'm just going to cut this off. There we go. Okay, so now we have this worked all the way around. It is definitely sewn down. So I'm going to back this up, take all my pins out. Sorry, I'm sweaty, guys. It's hot out here. Okay. So now we'll turn the whole thing inside it out and place it back on the mannequin. You could do this flat on a table if you prefer. So you might notice here that our t-shirt, let's see, I'm going to turn the camera around so I can make sure that we're on. There we go. So you might notice our neckline's going to be higher with the motifs than it was with the t-shirt, which I think is so interesting. And if you notice here, here's our cut line, here's our sewing line. Can you see that line there? Can you see our stitch line? There's our stitch line all the way along here, all the way around, all the way back here. And so what I'm thinking is I'm not going to cut in, see, so the neckline goes to here. I'm going to cut probably from here, follow along the sew line, and then cut to here. Are we ready to use our scissors? When you're cutting fabric, t-shirts, whatever, you want to have a good pair of scissors, and I got to tell you, there's no excuse to not have a good pair of scissors. Even if, here, I'm going to tell you it straight. If you are like me and you have messed up over the years and you have cut paper with your fabric scissors, or you have cut stupid stuff with your fabric scissors, or if you have opened Amazon boxes with your fabric scissors, who knows? We've had desperate times. We've all made mistakes. None of us are perfect. If you have done that and you have shamed yourself and not had a good pair of scissors for years, you can get a great pair of scissors for not very much money. These are Westcott scissors. You can get them for $5 at Walmart, or you can get a 2-pack or 3-pack of them on Amazon for even a better deal than that. They are so sharp and they cut through fabric like butter, and I found them recently and I was like, all I've done is shamed myself for years for messing up my good scissors, and it was so cheap to just replace my good scissors. So, PSA announcement for that too. Okay, so are we ready to make the first cut? Who's ready? I'm gonna wait until I hear someone say they're ready too. Oh, I wanna take a sip of my tea anyway. I'm drinking tea with a lot of fresh ginger and lemon. Yep, they're called Westcott scissors, and I can't believe how good they are for how affordable they are. Okay, I see some readies. All right, here we go. Is the camera close enough? Nope, it's not. Okay, let's turn the camera around again then, so you get a nice bird's eye view of, oops, I did not turn the camera around yet. Okay, here we go, snippy snip. Look at how smooth these sharp scissors go through that t-shirt too. My goodness, that's amazing. And now that I have good scissors, you know what's coming next, don't you? We're gonna do some t-shirt crafts. Maybe next week, maybe the week after that. But I've been waiting until I had good scissors. And again, another way I shamed myself. I knew that a lot of you wanted to see some of my t-shirt crafts, and I was like, you need good scissors first. Don't be such a doofus and use your good scissors for stupid stuff. I'm speaking to myself there, not you. Okay, we cut it out. I'm turning around now. How exciting. Who's ready to see me turn it around? Let's turn the camera around again. Here we go. Flip it around. And like I said, we will do a second stitching line before we call this done, but I could probably try it on. We're getting there, so I'm going to do a second stitch line closer to the edge, but we might as well try it on real quick. I don't know if it's going to work with this dress underneath, but once again, it really is why I like live. I like the unexpected. All right, let's get in the shade. Okay. I mean, I prefer to wear this without a dress underneath, obviously, and in fact, once I get it on, maybe I could figure something else out. There we go. How cute is that? Isn't that adorable? It's going to be so cute. So if I move, I just couldn't figure out an outfit that I could wear outside today and swap out my outfit to do this, but you can see how adorable is that? Does it look great in the back too? I can't see yet. And to make sure that I keep all those corners down, I will be sewing a second cut line. I'll be sewing a second line here. But can you see how easy this was to do? Right? Was this so easy to do? Are you gonna do one? I'm gonna sit in the shade and talk to you now though. Ooh. So, oh, I thought I did show you the back. Sure. Go back over here in the sun. Whoa. Oh, my screen's gone dark. That's why I can't see now. Okay, let's just lift this up and I'll turn around again. Okay, so there's the front. I move my hair. There's the back. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it needs zhuzhing. It might need zhuzhing, and it is going to get zhuzhed because I'm going to do a second sew line down there too. But overall, I think it's absolutely amazing, and what a great way to upcycle an old t-shirt or to embellish a new t-shirt. I just love the fact that we can combine our creativity with store-bought clothes and bring new life and new love to old clothing. Wonderful. Wonderful. Does anybody have any questions? My screen. Thank you, Joe. I'm so glad to hear that. I figured it would. It should be working. Ooh, here we go. It's not even that hot, but it's so humid. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Thank you, Jane. We all love embellishing clothes, don't we? Don't we? Oh, and I said that I promised that I would mention to some people if you didn't want to add this to a t-shirt, you could actually, this could be the beginning of a top too. Remember, it's a raglan shaped, so you could choose to actually just continue to crochet down from that bottom line in one color. You could do it in stripes, or you could continue going in motifs as well. Thank you, Sharon. I think it turned out great. Back up just a little bit so you can see. I can't see. Thanks, Edna. Oh, and now that I have sharp scissors, we're going to do more of this type of stuff. I just, you know, I needed to just buy another pair of scissors. That was it. All right, does anybody have any other questions? Thanks, Angela. I am so happy. Do you see how the three colors really work so well? If we tried to match the coral in the tank t-shirt with the coral yarn, you're never going to match yarn from your stash or yarn from a yarn shop with a t-shirt in a store. I mean, is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Not super likely. So one of the things that I did when choosing colors is I thought if I went and took an average, so did some colors that were lighter than the t-shirt and some colors that were darker than the t-shirt but still tonal in the same family, I felt like I could get an average of it and it would look like an ensemble, like they were meant to coordinate together. If that wouldn't work for you, you could, yes, you could do this on a dress, absolutely. You don't just have to do it on a t-shirt, it could be on anything. What was I going to say? You could definitely put it on a dress instead of a t-shirt. Oh, if it seems too hard to combine an average of similar colors like this, it was a challenge and it was an experiment. It worked out, but you know, you don't know something's going to work out in an experiment. So if that's too risky for you, you could also go high contrast. Whatever bright color you're wearing, pop it with black or white. Pop it with a high contrast color. Look at the opposite side of the color wheel. If your dress is red, add green. If your dress is blue, add yellow. Like, you can do high contrast with complementary colors. You could go with analogous colors, so colors right next to each other on the color wheel. You could go with a shade lighter or darker than what you're wearing. You could also implement a neutral. So let's say that you have a color that you think is similar, or a couple of colors that you think are similar, but you don't think you can pull off the whole tonal thing like this. Make that last round in a neutral, a brown, a gray, a black, a white, a cream, and use your bright colors just in the center of the motifs. You could do that as well. Or if you're wearing a black or white or neutral dress, neon or bright colors, or make that like a floral theme. There's so many ways you could add so much theme to a project when you're choosing color. And that's one of my favorite reasons. That's one of my favorite excitement values of choosing color, is that I have a vision in my head. Am I thinking of the Greek Isles? Am I thinking of an ice cream truck? Am I thinking of, you know, whatever, Mother Nature, a flower garden? So let's say you have a super neutral dress, or even a green dress, Mother Nature's neutral, and then do all sorts of bright colors, like bright zinnia colors. Wouldn't that be great? Or a whole thing in black and white, or a whole thing in neutrals, or stick with cheetah print colors. What if you had a brown dress and you picked different colors of a cheetah or leopard print and combined those colors in here and did them in different sequences? Okay, hear me out. Okay, The dress is a neutral, brown, cream, somewhere in that family. And let's say you took a chocolate, a medium brown, and a light cream for your motifs. If you went in sequence ABC, BCA, CBA, ABC, it would bring so much more variation, and it might give you an animal print vibe. What do you think of that? We could go on for days about color though, right? Does anybody have any other questions? All right, well, I don't hear too many birds, but let's close our eyes anyway. Let's close our eyes. Don't mind my swollen eyelids. Anyway, let's close our eyes for 30 seconds, have a nice little break. Focus on the sounds around us, whether you hear the fountain back on the lake over there, hear some birds up in the trees, or maybe just hear my Inno fan, which is oddly soothing as well. I'm going to count in my head for roughly 30 seconds. If you want to close your eyes with me, I'll let you know when I open mine so I don't leave you hanging. And we're starting now. Okay, was that refreshing for you? Was it relaxing for you? I know I enjoyed it very much. I did hear a couple of birds. They were a little soft and in the distance, but there were some birds. Yeah, sunflower motif would be great. Yeah, mixing and matching yellows and browns and white maybe. All right. Well, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and my other little fashion tips and hacks that I discovered today. My PSA on throwing out old makeup, my PSA on buying yourself a pair of good fabric scissors. You deserve it. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.